Fantastic. Your next guest is a comedian, activist, author, playwright. He's a regular guest on CBC's The Debaters. Yes, and considered one of the finest stand-up comedians in the country. The wonderful Charlie Demers.
Paul Anthony, your host, and Tanya, wasn't she amazing? That was a terrific act, right? That was just beautiful. And keep it going for Hannah for organizing the show tonight. This is really terrific. We're using the Fox Theater to raise money for UNICEF. This is easily the most altruistic use of an old porno theater. It's like saving someone from drowning by throwing them a string of anal beads. Come on, we can do it! It's a great show, great cause, super weird audience. You guys are bonkers. Nobody can figure you out. All the comedians are up on the balcony. They're like, Jesus Christ, I don't know what to do. And I think it's because there are like a lot of baby boomers here tonight, and so I think a lot of the comedians just feel like they're looking into a sea of their parents' disappointed faces. This is what you've chosen to do. But I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of people with white hair because I do shows for the fucking CBC. So you guys are one of the younger crowds I've performed for this month. Plus, I like to think of myself as kind of a bridging comedian between generations. I feel like I'm kind of at a hinge point because, like, I have the job prospects and the RRSP of a millennial, but I have the body mass index of a baby boomer. And so I can relate to, hey, student debt, right? Blood pressure medication. That's no fun, is it? You'll never own a house. We can't sit in hot tubs. I can sit in hot tubs. That's not, whew. And I'm just glad, what a turnout, terrific turnout, and, because you never know, right? I mean, the fact is, sad as it is, 2014, this is still a controversial thing to be talking about Palestinians as, like, human beings, and it's a, you know, when you do a fundraiser like this, people are like, can you make it Tibetans? Can they just be Tibetans? We can all agree on Tibetans. It's sometimes you get a prickly response when you talk about Palestine in Vancouver. To wit, I was in rally a little while ago. We were doing a Palestine rally, and we were downtown. We were walking down the street, and there was like a racist guy just yelling shit. Like we were walking down the street. It's a demonstration, so people are going, "Free Palestine!" And this guy, he kind of peels back. He goes, "Go back to Palestine!" Now, I don't know how many Palestinians you know, but they are really big on going back to Palestine. That's like, that's kind of their whole deal. If you go up to a group of Palestinians, you go, "Why don't you go back to where you came from?" You will only get high fives. And so it's tough for me, like it was so, like this guy, he's yelling this shit, and it was so off the mark as like hate speech that I almost felt like a tinge of sympathy for this like hapless bigot who's just going through life accidentally encouraging groups of people that he hates, right? It's the worst possible, it's like a curse. He's just full of hatred. Just hate everybody. All different kinds of. He goes down to the gay pride parade and suck my dick. Up your ass, buddy, right up your ass. That was my impression of the Pride Parade. I hope you were all comfortable with it. London drugs. Future shop. That's essentially. There's some good news. I found a syringe outside of my house today. It was right in the parking lot, right by our place, which is great, right? For those of you who don't know, syringe on the ground, that's like East Vancouver Groundhog Day. And it's like, oh, syringe on the ground, 6 more weeks, no gentrification. There's no, thank you. Whew. I'm a dad. That's another reason, why I feel, it's another reason why I feel okay talking to like slightly more sophisticated crowds, right? I do a lot of shows on like Main Street, Commercial Drive, and I'm talking about my daughter, and people, it blows their, like they can't, like, what's this guy talking about his daughter? I'm a daughter. And it's just a perspective kind of, my wife wanted to come tonight to the show. We couldn't find a babysitter in time. Last week we got a babysitter. My aunt, actually, she came over so we could go out for dinner. And it was really nice. But you're so dumb when you're a new parent. And you try to like make up for it by trying to think of everything in advance, right? So I'm talking to my aunt. I'm like, okay, if she needs clothes, change of clothes, those are over here. Her toys are over here. Bottles over here. Food's over here. And then I remembered all of a sudden, I was like, oh, my aunt, she's got 2 sons, but that's it. So I was like, you've only had boys. So do you know that when you're changing a diaper, you have to wipe poop away from the vagina? And she goes, yeah, I have a vagina. So, it takes a special kind of male arrogance to explain vaginal hygiene to your aunt. Auntie, you know about vaginas, right? Yeah, you came out of my sister's one of them. My daughter is mixed race. She was actually, she was up on the show earlier. It was Sean Devlin. That's my little girl. And I tell you, she has grown up before my eyes. No, I have a little girl who, you know, a lot like Vancouver in a way. She's half white and she's half Asian, and we can't really afford her. And that's a terrific joke. So if there was any doubt about that, really. Let's go out, have a breath of fresh air, come back in. It's a solid joke. I told that joke in Montreal, and a guy in the front row, he goes, hey, just like Vancouver. And I said, yep. That's the gag. Of course, we were in Montreal, which is the city that my parents should have named me after, going by the same logic, because I am part French, and I'm part English, and I'm not in great shape. It's nice to have one thing that happens that's slightly off-putting is if you have a baby that is half Asian, half white, strangers feel compelled to let you know how attracted they are to grown-ups who are that. Like one lady was really bold. She just leaned right over the baby stroller. She was like, oh, look at you. All the half-white, half-Chinese girls I know are bombshells. Okay? Oh, thank you for that. Mildly racist sexualization of my baby. But it's great. I love being a dad. It's a nice thing. Our daughter's breastfed, but my wife got sick a little while ago, and so we had to get some formula for the baby, which, if you know, living in East Van, that's looked upon as kind of like buying your kid cigarettes. Like, and I know that a lot of you here are probably doulas, so I don't want to I don't want to like, everyone here under 40 is a doula, everyone here over 40 is in the La Leche League, so we're not gonna dwell on breast milk. I know that it's the best. Obviously, it's the best option, but there's a lot of pressure on women, like undue amounts of pressure on women to feed the baby from the breast. Like some of you here tonight, even right now, are thinking, "Wow, how sick was your wife?" That's for sure happening. They really guilt you. It's we went to a breastfeeding class before the baby was born, because we're middle-class idiots. People have been doing it for literally as long as they've had bodies, but we both have university degrees, so better pay someone to talk to us about it. Taking notes. So the milk comes out of the mother's breast? We get to this class, and there's a woman, she's teaching it, and she's standing in front of a blackboard that has the numbers 1 to 4 written on it. And she goes, "Well, just to have some fun, just to get started off, everybody just want to shout out, what do you think are the top 4 options for feeding your infant? Just top 4, just shout them out." And one guy's in the back, he can't even wait. He's like, "Breast milk! Breast milk! Milk from the boob! Breast milk! Breast milk!" She goes, "Absolutely, breast milk is number 1. Breast milk is, it's got all the nutrients your little one needs, and you're gonna be building up necessary antibodies and immunity, and you're gonna be building a real bond between mother and baby, and you're gonna be getting calcium and protein, and the baby's just always gonna have just really genuine friendships in their life. And it's good for the baby's eyes and their bone health, and the baby will just always have just real good luck at garage sales, just always kind of stumble on a little gem, and the baby will be happier, and the baby's gonna sleep better, and your baby will fly. It'll just turn into a beam of pure light and just shoot up into the stars and say, 'Thanks, Mommy,' and fly away." So absolutely, breast milk is number 1. What about some of the others? And then we sit in what feels like just 15 minutes of terrified silence before somebody has the temerity to go, like, formula, I'd heard that, like, in a hostage situation, like if somebody said, "You give that baby formula, and if you gave it formula, like the baby wouldn't die, like right away. So, formula? Yep, okay. Formula is number 4. Here's some of the other options. Formula and hummus? I don't know. What? No one brought any answers beyond breast milk and formula. Cheese, what you can't, and anyway, as it turns out, the other 2 options, just different kinds of breast milk. Number 3 is donated breast milk. That's another woman's breast milk. Number 2 is expressed breast milk, which is just your milk in a bottle. How did that get its own number? That's 1.5 at most, right? I wanted to ask the teacher about it, but that's when we broke for lunch. Most of us had sandwiches. Some of us had expressed sandwiches. Sandwich on a plate. Come on, what are you people? That joke doesn't really have an ending. You're right to trail off with it. I'd like to ask one thing. This is a little dark. I apologize. We'll see. I'll try and pick things back up. But have any of you ever helped stop someone from committing suicide and then a little while later, that person unfollows you on Twitter. Because that's happened to me twice. Two different dudes. And that just seems like, and I don't own their, this is not Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and they are not Morgan Freeman. I don't own their life until they save mine back in some kind of made-up Muslim tradition from medieval times. But there's gotta be some sort of middle ground, right? Like, I'm not even asking for retweets. I like a little bit of space in your feed and a favorite every now and again, just so I know you're there. Why did I tell a brand new joke at the end of the set? I'll leave you with this. Phrases like "I leave you with this" are placeholders while I try to figure out what I'm going to leave you with. As was that little bit of smartassery. I love being a dad. I'm sorry if I'm like obsessing on it. It's the only thing on my mind right now. Obviously, it's probably a good thing, right? I got a little baby girl. Her name's Josephine, and thank you very much for. We named her after Stalin. We didn't really name her after Stalin. But that is what I tell other parents to get out of conversations about their shitty kid. I go, yep, that's our little Josephine. Named her after Stalin. Oh, okay, I'll see you later. How's your kid with sharing, by the way? Because he's about to be tremendous. Thought that joke would do a little better, as most of you can remember Stalin. Anyways, I think I'm going to leave on the crass ageism. You guys are a terrific crowd. Please come back for the second half, and thanks for coming out to support such a worthy cause.